I do not do it for fame. I do not do it for you. I put myself through the pain. Time to start.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, okay? Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, y'all, this is my review recap for The Handmaid's Tale, Season 5, Episode 7, No Man's Land. Let me tell y'all, for once, okay, the very first time ever in 5 seasons of Handmaid's Tale, they have did a episode that left me speechless. I was absolutely speechless. I didn't know how to feel. I went through a lot of emotions. I also was aggravated, irritated, frustrated, just over it. Literally started getting a headache. Did not see that ending coming in no way, shape, or form. And the only thing I could tell y'all is, June had more grace than me, okay? More grace than I probably would have, so more power to you, girl, okay? And Luke said, listen, y'all done put a fire up underneath my ass, okay? Praise be. Y'all wanted to see, F around and find out? That's what it was, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. Now, we started out this episode picking up right where we left off. We got June and Serena riding in this car. She's still over here waving the damn gun around, telling her to drive. June is like, listen, where are we going? Are we going back to Canada? Are we going to damn Gilead? Are you trying to take them, take me there and kill me? Who was that guy that was with you, right? Where's Luke? What are those guys going to do to him? She's trying to get to the bottom of this and, get some answers, but we got daggone, Serena just over here in pain, moaning and groaning. At this point, she's going into labor. She done fired out a damn shot, and it causes June to start, swerving all over the place. Basically, the bullet literally could have hit her, and it had went through the windshield. So June pulls the car over like, man, bump that, and she starts running away, and Serena's calling after her like, June, please, 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 I'm not trying to shoot you or whatever. And June was just out, okay? She cutting up through this damn forest and she trying to get away. Now, Serena behind tries to get behind the wheel and drive, and she ends up in a damn ditch. So June goes back down there to her, whatever, and was like, girl, what the hell are you doing or whatever, right? And she's basically, telling her, give me this damn gun, okay? Give it to me, all right? Because you don't know what the hell you doing with it. You waving it around every damn which way. And she's still continuing trying to ask her questions. Who was that guy that was back there? Are you trying to run away from somebody? And, she's like, Jesus, are you in labor? She was like, of course you in damn labor, all right? What the hell would be my luck? How else would it work other than me to be the person that's stuck with you, while you going into labor? And she's like, when did it start? Oh, I don't know, a while ago. And so then June is like, well, how far is the contraction? She's basically groaning. So June was like, okay, they're close. Do you have a phone? Serena's like, no. She's like, okay, get out. She's like, what? Get out the damn car, girl. Okay. So Serena's asking her, what you gonna do? She said, I'm gonna try to get this damn car out of here so I could get you to a doctor. Serena talking about, no, no, no. So you telling her, Serena, you gotta go to hospital. No, I can't go to hospital because they're gonna find me. Who's gonna find you? And she's trying to get the car out, but this thing is stuck up in this damn ditch. So she get out and she looking around and she sees this barn and she's like, okay, come on. Serena's like, where we going? She's like, we gonna go inside this barn or whatever, right? And in between, she's still trying to say, who is he? Who was he? Who was that guy back there? Who are you trying to run from? Still no answers. All she doing at this point is just groaning in pain, right? And so, excuse me, they got to head over to the daggone barn or whatever, right? And when they get inside, she's like trying to tell her, okay, let me check you. But in the meantime, we are also getting these flashbacks to when she's first bringing Alfred to meet, the other ladies. And she's saying sorry for being late. They had, to stay there because she was helping Fred with this announcement that he's going to do. And, they like, oh, we understand completely. And she's like, may I present you with my handmaid Alfred? And so they are here of clearance because she's basically giving birth. And, they're all coming there for that. And so, of course, all the handmaids are like, push, push, push. They all surrounding her and saying, breathe, 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 push, 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 right? And saying their little prayers for her, whatever the case may be, while she's doing this delivery. And at first, Serena and Alfred, aka June, is just standing there kind of smiling back and forth at each other with the process of, this birth going down. And Lydia is saying, support your sister, pray for her, give her strength from success and all of that kind of stuff, right? And you could see that Clarence is just having a really hard damn time with this labor. It ain't all, pretty and smiles and laughter all the time. And some other frustrating and, sometimes tragic things that come with it. And so, they were showing that. And at the same time, we get back to Serena and June in the barn, and June is trying to say, like, okay, I'm gonna have to check you, I'm gonna have to see what's going on here, because at first she was just walking back and forth, and Serena's just sitting there moaning and groaning in pain. I guess June was trying to compose herself, try to figure out what's the next step to do. Serena was saying it was cold. She was like, yeah, it's gonna get even colder. And she goes and she gives her a blanket and wraps that around her. So she basically was like, her first labor, whatever she had with Hannah, was 19 hours, and Hannah almost broke her damn, ribs or whatever. So she basically was like, being as though this is your first, you probably gonna be here for a minute. But when the cold, that was faster. And so she was like, of course, that time I was alone. And she's just basically looking at Serena or whatever. And Serena over here, shivering. And, she was basically like, we could die or whatever the case may be, right? And no one would come looking for us. You know what I'm saying? So she trying to figure out. She was like, it would be like we never existed. And Serena just there still rocking back and forth and getting pains. And so, June was saying, like, let me check you. Let me see how open your damn cervix is. And here goes damn Serena. No, because she was like, you're going to have to do this, okay? And she's like, I can't. She was like, yes, you can. We're going to have to take care of this here. She was like, breathe, breathe, breathe. There you go. Take it in and bring it out. So when she's saying she want to check her or whatever, freaking Serena gonna start yelling and screaming, going all crazy. No, get away from me. Don't touch me. No, stop. You trying to hurt me. You trying to hurt my baby. You trying to hurt me or whatever. So she's telling her, Serena, I'm trying to help you. She talking about, no, you want to kill my baby. You're going to kill my baby. So June was like, okay, fine. You want to die here on your own? All alone, die here all alone, girl, bye. And she leaves her or whatever. And so I'm like, that's funny. It's funny that you would have that reaction, Serena, because you know how dirty and grimy you are. And so you can't even trust that somebody would genuinely help you or whatever the case may be. If she wanted to kill you, she could have been killed you, because she had the damn gun right on you. And I think a big part of the reason why she didn't was because you were pregnant. But because you're so damn evil and you would never stop to help anybody, you can't imagine that anybody would stop and help you in that way. So I said, isn't that damn ironic? And this is the only person that you can depend on right now for help. So June basically ended up going back out to the car, and she's trying to see if she could figure out a way to get it moved. She first was trying to move some stuff out the way. That didn't really work. And then she found like this piece of wood, and she put that under the tire, and she kept pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. And finally that worked, And at the same time, we're getting a flashback to, the fact that this birth went bad that they was at, right? And they had to end up trying to put oxygen on her, trying to bring her back around, but nothing wasn't happening. You could see she was unresponsive, and they had to hurry up and move her to this table and basically end up giving her a C-section, right? And they was all still saying, prayers. On Lydia saying, pray for the life of the baby, right? Pray for the life of the child. And June was just kind of, how she do that stare? She was still just staring off into space. So at one point, Lydia had walked in front of her and was like, June, pray for this child to be, born okay or whatever the case may be, right? And so when she does get the car moved, June actually does come back, child. I thought she was going to just drive off or either she was going to come drive the car and then take her directly to the hospital. But no, she comes walking in or whatever the case may be, and Serena's like, you came back. And I'm like, yeah, girl, you came back. And she basically, is there. And as it transitions from, them going back and showing this birth and them saying breathe to the girl of Clarence that's giving birth, you see her then saying breathe to Serena and actually still being there with her, trying to help her to give birth to this baby, okay? Like, at this point, you in labor now, this baby is coming out, so we gotta go ahead and get it out here. And of course, Serena's just yelling and screaming and going through the motions or whatever the case may be and saying, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And she's like, yes, you can. And she starts to tell her that she's seeing the crown, and she's like, you do? And she was like, yeah. She was like, it's your baby head, it's almost there. Serena over here talking about what color is it. I said, girl, when they get out you'll see. But June was telling her like it's brown, it's a brown. And she was like, oh, he got brown here. And she's like, yeah. So she was like, you're almost there, you just gotta keep pushing, continue pushing the rest of the way so that the head could come all the way out. You got this, here we go. And she got her through that. She keeps pushing. She telling her, okay, you got to do one more big one and get the shoulders out or whatever, right? And so she just gets her through the whole process or whatever. And then, the baby comes out or whatever. And June is just looking at it like at first both of them are crying and smiling. She's saying, he's here, he's here, he's here. And Serena's like, is he okay? Is he okay? And for a minute there, it was like June went into another place and she's looking at her, giving her that, and at the same time, just still holding the baby. And Serena's still talking about, is he okay? Is he okay? And then it's like June snaps out of it again. And it's like, yeah, he's actually, perfect or whatever, right? And she passes him to her. And she's just basically like, oh, my baby, my beautiful baby, you with your mother, I'm your mother and all of this different kind of stuff. And smiling and happy, to have him there with her. And they're both crying and, she just looking at him in awe and everything like that, right? And I said, how funny is that? She all laughs and happy or whatever the case may be, now to have him and talking about some praise be. And so I said, yeah, girl, oh, my angel and this and that. But, in the meantime, when everybody else was having their daggone babies, you ain't have no problem with they babies ripped out their arms. So I was getting real mixed emotions when it came to this, because even June was talking about praise be and smiling at him while he there. And then we go back to, when they was there at this, birth as handmaids. And Lydia is saying, I know you will mourn her, girls, but, she was a true vessel, right? God used her as his vessel, and she did her job, what she was supposed to do and what she was meant to do. He is pleased with her, and he sent her to her final reward. And it's like, whew, when you just think about it in that context, and then all the handmaids are saying praise be on Lydia or whatever, right? And she's like, oh, now we can accompany, our sister home. And so y'all literally looked at these women as, vessels or whatever to just give birth to these babies and for y'all to take away. And it's like, if they die, they die. As they walking out from there, June, aka Alfred at the time, looks through the glass and sees that they don't even care that this girl died, right? They all standing around smiling and just in awe of the newborn baby. And everybody got a smile on their face except for Serena. And her and Serena lock eyes and they're looking at each other for a minute. And, everybody else is like, oh, wow, this new baby or whatever, right? But basically, they're not smiling because they see the reality of there's somebody that just died to give birth to this daggone baby, right? So that's how it always was with her and daggone Serena, right? Where they would have one moment where they would have a little bit of a, connection or seem like they had somewhat of an understanding or whatever. But at the same time, this is literally something that Serena helped to build and that she wanted, right? That she thinks is making the daggone world a better place. And so then we get back to Serena and her in the barn, and she's like, I'm calling him Noah. His name is going to be Noah, whatever the case may be. And, June is like, that's a nice name. She's over here cheesing. She's like, when I pictured this, I pictured it in a different way and saying the name means savior of humanity. She's like, I can't believe you here. Of course, she thought Fred was going to be able to be there with him, with her when she gave birth, and saying how he looks like Fred, and she waited for this and wanted this so bad. And so, excuse me, June asked her, was it worth it? And she was like, yeah, right now, I would basically say that it was. And, that's when she basically went into, he looked like, Fred, and I thought that he would be here. And then she was like, oh, well, how's he latching on? And, June asked her, how's he latching on? She said, he's being strong. He's doing a good job with it, or whatever the case may be. And so June starts to tell her about how she had a hard time with breastfeeding, Hannah. It was tongue tied. She was like, she would feed her and feed her and feed her, and she still would be hungry. And that, this basically made June feel really guilty. She thought she was doing something wrong. And then she used to get all these colds, and she thought it was, her fault because of nursing. But it turned out that she started getting the colds when she was older too. And so it didn't have nothing to do with that. And she basically was like, sometimes I would stay home from work with her. Sometimes I couldn't stay home from work. Sometimes I didn't want to stay home from work. All the things that working mothers know and feel and go through or whatever, right? And Serena's just basically, looking at her as she's saying all of this. And then Serena was asking her, like, why didn't you shoot me, or why didn't you kill me? And she was like, oh, why? You the one that was the person swinging around the gun, right? That's what June said to her. So she was like, no, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about when you had the chance before. And June basically was like, because I didn't want to, right? And so she just was looking at her when she said that, right? And, she just was going on and on about being so happy to have the baby here, and how she feeling, and how he just looks like an angel, and she feels so special, and she wants him to have everything. And June was like, that's what every mother wants, right? And so June just kept dropping gems, or whatever the case may be, to, for her to think about. Whether she actually was going to think about it or not, that's a whole nother discussion. But it seemed like, when she would say something, she would look, because it's funny that you think you're the only person that feels this way, when literally majority of women, feel that way and want to be protective of their babies. But you literally was ripping people's babies away from them, not thinking of that feeling that they have for theirs, right? And so that was interesting to me, right? And so nonetheless, they go from talking about that to, June basically, because she was like, do you think he's going to be like Fred? And she was like, not necessarily. It depends on who raised him, what you teach him, what you tell him, how you make him grow up to be, or whatever, right? The environment that he's in. And that's when she was saying she wanted him to have everything. And she was like, well, that's what we all want, Serena. You know what I mean? You ain't the first one that ever wanted that. And so that's when she kind of was like if she just having some damn, epiphany about that. And so all of a sudden she want to start telling June that she feels like God sent her here, because June was like, look, I got to get you out of here. We're going to have to leave soon. I'm going to have to take you to the hospital. And she keeps telling her, like, no, I can't go. She's like, I don't belong anywhere, right? I don't belong here. I don't belong in Gilead. I don't belong in Canada. I really don't have nothing to live for. And she was like, girl, do you want to sit here, and die of septic shock, or whatever the case may be, and then watch your baby dying slowly because, you can't feed him. You don't have no food. You don't have no water. It's getting colder and colder in here, whatever the case may be. Y'all need to be hydrated. She was like, you cannot stay here. And so she ends up telling June some crap about, I feel like God sent you to me. I feel like you were supposed to be here and help me deliver and all of this. This was supposed to happen this way. You are basically an angel that God sent me. And so June is like, girl, I ain't no daggone angel, okay? Like, that's what you think of me. She's like, I'm not no angel. And then she started to talk about some, maybe she's an ark. So I guess that's why she felt like, she wanted to name him Noah, because she over here talking about, maybe I'm a vessel and I delivered him, and that's what I was supposed to do, right? And that was God's will, and that was my part in it. But now you supposed to take him away and raise him. And she's basically telling her rather, how June is a good mother, and she knows that she would do a good job. She was like, I'm giving him to you the same way that you did with Nicole when you wanted to protect her, or whatever the case may be, right? And she's basically saying that, her and Luke would do a good job, because he's a good father and he's a good man and everything like that, right? So therefore, she know that he could possibly teach Noah how to be a good man. And so at first, it seemed like it was kind of getting to June a little bit, right? And then June had went ahead and took the baby from her and was walking away. But then that flashback came to June, where she's remembering, like, vessel. That's what y'all used to say, right? That's what you thought I was. That's what you thought we were. She was like, none of us mattered to you. You know what I mean? And Serena was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, I don't care that you're sorry. That don't make me a damn difference. That don't do nothing for me with you saying, you're sorry. We mattered. We were damn people, okay? We are people. And y'all basically treated us like damn trash. And she was like, you don't get to get off easy like that, or whatever the case may be. You have to keep going, and you have to do what the hell, you gotta do. You gotta get your behind up out of here. And she was like, we have lives, and that's why I'm saving you. I'm saving you because I'm not you, okay? And so Serena talking about something, I don't deserve to be saved. And June was basically telling her, like, it's not about you. She was like, this isn't Gilead, and I'm not you, and I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for him, because you need to be here for him. You need to love him. You need to guide him. You need to feed him. You know what I'm saying? He is yours. She's like, look at him. Look at your baby. He needs you, not me. He needs you to be there for him, and you to take care of him, and you to hold him, you to feed him, you to cover him, you to nourish him, and do all the things that a mother does. And so she was like, that is what God's will is. And she's basically like, do you understand me? All right, this ain't up for negotiation. Serena over here all this crying, boo-hooing, or whatever the case may be. So she was like, we gonna go ahead and get up out of here, all right? She had lifted up her head and was like, do you hear me? Or do you understand me, right? And so, now they go ahead to get to this daggone hospital. So when they get to the hospital, June is letting them know, like, she just gave birth. The baby is healthy. She seems to be okay, but they definitely need to be checked. We was out there for about, 6 hours. She telling Serena go with them, that she's going to be there to check on her. It's okay. She asked the guy if she could use the phone. He's like, you got to press 9 first. Of course, he see her looking all beat up and dirty and stuff. So he like, were you in some kind of accident? Do you need treatment too? She's like, no, I'm fine. I just want to use the phone. So she go ahead and call, and we hear Maura like, June, and so basically, she goes in the room to check on Serena, and I just was like, okay, June, you still around? Like, I get it. Like I said, June was better than me. I never expected that she was going to kill Serena, and definitely that she would hurt the baby, because if that was the case, she would have been killed Serena a long damn time ago, right? And I get that you helped her, and I get you got her to the hospital, but then once you got her there, I would have been on my way. No, June's still there. She's still hanging around. She walking in the room to check on her, see how she doing. Serena's basically like, well, they say that I'm okay, but I need to be hydrated. They took the baby to the NICU. June talking about that's perfectly normal. They do that. She was like, they saying something about that he might have jaundice and need to be under a light. She's like, yeah, that happens with babies sometimes. That's fine. And he might have a little bit of fever. And, she's just going all extra to let her know that all these things is normal and is okay. She's like, I can't even breastfeed him. They saying they're going to give him formula. She like, that's fine. He'll be okay. That's perfectly normal. You know what I'm saying? They do that too. And so June basically kept telling her that everything was okay. And then she tells June, I want to go home. And June was basically like, girl, there is no home, okay? There's nowhere for you to go. She basically was like, home is wherever you are. And so Serena talking about, no man's land, right? The name of the episode. So she was like, yeah. And so, she basically tells her like, you're going to be good. And Serena was like, thank you, June. And June was like, you're welcome. So now June walking out, smiling, feeling all good and proud of herself or whatever. I guess that she did not, you know what I mean, do things that she could have did or whatever, right? She feeling good that she got them to the hospital. Then she see Luke, she giving him a big hug. Like, it's so good to see your face or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, they dropped me off at the border. Child, he was like, well, we good or whatever the case may be, because I gave to Lola, the USB, and he's working on that now, whatever. He's like, June, we did it, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, oh, that's great, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. Like, they both happy about that. So the next thing he's like, are you okay? Did she hurt you? And she's like, no, she had the baby. The baby's safe. They're saying he had jaundice. The baby's under the light. And he was like, while you were there? She's like, yeah. And then she's like, it's a boy, but he's healthy though. You know what I mean? He have little things they got to look out for. Excuse me. So she was like, that's kind of normal, whatever, right? And he's just shaking his head, and then he's like, June, but what's going on with Serena? So she was like, oh, she's good too or whatever, she's fine. So he said she's fine. She was like, yeah, let's just talk about it later when we get home, come on, let's go. So he's like, hold on, give me a sec, child. The next thing we see some people that's looking like police that's asking for where Serena Waterford was. And June was like, what's going on? She go following behind them. They not answering, Luke over here talking about, don't worry, they not here for us, and telling her to come on. And she go running back there to see what's happening. And they just closed the door on her face. But we hearing them say, Serena Waterford, you are being detained, okay? She like, detained? Yeah, we are the Canadian, what was it? The Canadian, immigration, child, okay? And we about to hold your behind. And so, June is like, what's going on? He like, oh yeah, well, she had lost her visa, okay? Luke tells June she lost her visa once she left that damn center, whatever the case may be, because she was asking, because she speak, to counsel, and they told her that you don't get no immediate counsel when you an immigrant. I said, and okay. So he's saying how, she lost it, and I'm like, what the hell? What is going on? So he was like, yeah. She's saying it must be some mistake and you have to call and this and that, right? And then Luke just looking all smiles talking about, no, once she left the center, she lost her diplomatic visa she had. So obviously Serena didn't know that, right? Because when she got moved from the center, that was supposed to be for her protection because of the shooting. And then remember, they was just keeping her there at that house. I didn't know this either, honey. So apparently, that happened with her. And then she asking about, well, what's going to happen with the baby? Where is he? And they was like, child protective protection unit is already there. And she was like, what does that mean? Because they said, there is no infant care where they have to take her where the immigrants get detained at. I said, oh, this is getting interesting now, honey. Okay, this is getting interesting now. So she was like, well, what does that mean? What about my baby? What is going on? No, give me my baby, give me my baby, give me my baby. Okay. And so in the meantime, June is looking in complete shock, and she walks up behind Luke and she's like, did you have something to do with this or whatever the case may be? What is going on? What did you do? And, he over here smiling and pulling her to him so that she could look through the glass, and she's saying, where's my baby? What does this mean? And then when she's looking through the glass and she's seeing June, standing there, she's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. She was like, no, please, wait. Please don't take my baby. All right. And Luke, I'm talking about, at least she knows what it feels like. He was like, justice, right? And then here she is yelling at June damn name or whatever, saying, please don't let them take my baby or whatever. And when he said justice, right, June was like, right. And you just still see them trying to hold her down and her saying, please help me, please help me, please help me. June, don't let them take my baby. June, please help me. June, do something. June, please help me. And June just standing there like, And I was there like, too, because I didn't see it coming, boy. I didn't see it coming at all. Now, I will say I see some people on social media saying Luke was out of line and Luke is always doing stuff behind June back and he be doing too much and Luke is the devil and he shouldn't have been getting in the way of women's things and he always got to mess everything up because June and Serena was just getting on a good track. Listen, hold up, wait a minute, stop the music, okay? Now, I ain't gonna lie. There was little times when I was feeling a little bad for Serena while she was in that delivery. And like I said, June had more grace than me. But I'm not gonna go as far as to say that Luke went too far or he no daggone devil. He ain't no more devil if that's the case than Serena is. And I know they say two wrongs don't make a right, but I can completely understand how Luke feels, okay? Luke is tired of it. He's fed up. Now the fire done burned up inside of him while it went down inside of June and let her calm down for a minute is up in him. That's the only way to look at it, honey. Remember that he still have a child that's gone. Remember that he just was taken with June and got separated from her and didn't know what was going to happen. Got the crap beat out of him and held in a damn cage. Did y'all really think he was coming back to sit around and be like, oh, hi, yes, let's all get along and be like, kumbaya, you know, we one big happy family? I think not. That just would not be realistic. So I understand why he did what he did. I understand why he feels the way that he feel. You know, I mean, come on now. To say he's the devil, that's a bit much. But anyway, y'all, put it in the comments. Let's discuss. You know, what did y'all think about this episode? What you liked, what you didn't like, you know, all of that good stuff. What you think is going to be happening, you know, in the next episode. Put it all in the comments. Let's discuss, okay? Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are so inclined, give me a wave. Tell me you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. All right, y'all.